Welcome to Tech Photo Blog. This is episode number 83. This week I'm going to be talking about how you can improve your light and laser sensor for the camera axe. So here's your typical light sensor and your typical laser sensor. And these are really great sensors. And a lot of people have used them successfully, including myself. But there's three issues that I've noticed when configuring these as a laser trigger. And basically when I say a laser trigger, what I'm talking about is the laser is shining on the light sensor, and so the light sensor detects a bright light constantly, and then when something moves between them, that bright light is blocked, and you can use that drop in the light levels on the camera axe to take a photograph. And a lot of times people are doing that kind of work outside, so you typically want to enclose these in something that's a little more water resistant or weather resistant. And you also will find that getting these sensors exactly aligned so the laser is shining directly on this light sensor can be a little difficult. And sort of lastly, you have to come up with some kind of clamping mechanism to hold these things in place. So we're going to talk about some ways to improve these things yourself using a few dollars in parts from the hardware store. So first off, I'll talk about the parts that I'm using today. This is just 1-inch PVC piping, and I've got an end cap here for 1-inch PVC piping with the hole drilled in it. These pieces here are just cut off 1-inch pieces of PVC piping, and this is a 1-inch PVC piping coupler. The reason there's black in here is because I wanted to reduce the reflectivity of the inside of these pipes when I'm using them with the light sensor. I've got a plastic bag and it's got to be a clear plastic bag and a rubber band. So that's all the parts we'll be using today. It's maybe $2 or $3 from your local hardware store. So for the laser sensor, all I'm going to do is the hole in the end of this end cap is drilled for the right size to sort of fit snugly with one of the cables that comes with the laser and light sensor. And then basically this plug now is kind of connected. You could glue it in here if you want, but it's not really necessary. It's really a tight fit if you drill the right size hole. Then I can just plug in the laser sensor and plug this in, and you've got the laser sensor on the inside of this. And for this one you don't really need the black paint at all. I just have painted these already, so I'm sort of showing it with a black paint. But then I just take the plastic bag like this and put the rubber band on it a few times, and that'll sort of keep the water out. And at this point we've got a laser sensor that's fairly weather resistant. Okay, so for the light sensor we do the same trick with the end cap here. And once that's in snugly, we can attach the light sensor. And I didn't mention this earlier, but basically I put a piece of translucent clear plastic on one of the ends of the plastic. And that's basically to diffuse the light so that when the light shines through this tube, hits this the laser will shine through this tube and hit that translucent plastic, and it basically diffuses the laser light over a larger area, so you don't have to hit this exact tip of the sensor with the laser. You basically can hit anywhere inside this tube, and then it gets diffused, and then the light sensor can pick up the laser light that way. So then basically we put this 1-inch PVC tubing there like that. We put on the coupler. We put the diffuser. I put the diffuser inwards like that. And I've got the plastic bag again, which I would just put on to sort of help keep the water out. And now we've got a light sensor. And I realized one thing I didn't mention before, but I drilled a 1/4 inch or a smaller than a 1/4 inch hole, and then I put a 1/4 inch by 20 thread die bit through here. So I basically threaded the plastic. So the reason to do that is so you can attach, I mean, these are just these little tabletop tripods, but you could attach any kind of tripod you want. And the idea is now you can use your tripod to hold up these the laser and the light sensor. So here's the setup now with this is the laser sensor over on this side. It's emitting a laser beam over here to the light sensor, and you can see that red dot is just where the laser is hitting, and it's really easy to align the laser and the light sensor now, because all you have to do is hit that 1 inch circle, and then it gets diffused and will hit the laser sensor no matter where it is. So alignment's really easy. These sensors are, you know, somewhat water and weather resistant. If we look at the actual camera axe, so one difference is you can sort of see that 540 number is the value it's currently sensing. If you don't use all of this diffuser, if you don't use the diffuser and you actually hit the light sensor directly, that value would be a 999. It would basically max out the light sensor. However, the diffuser makes it much easier to align the sensors, so I kind of think it's worth it. And the camera axe can be programmed to trigger at any different values. So in this case, when the laser beam is blocked, you can see that it drops down to single digits. So I'd probably set the trigger value to maybe something like 50 or something in this case, and then when I unblock, it jumps way back up. So there's a huge range where you could detect the laser beam, and because of all that black paint and this tube, really not much ambient light gets in there, so you don't have to worry about sunlight triggering it and things like that, as long as you don't point it directly at the sun. So I'm pretty happy with the results here, and maybe I'll set this up outside sometime to take some wildlife photography shots with the camera axe now. I hope this was helpful to other people, and thanks for watching.